Hi everyone, I'm Allie, co-founder of Potomacbeads. In this Better Beader episode, we are going to talk one of my favorite things, pearls. We're going to dive into the subject of how they are made, cultured, natural, glass-coated, plastic, etc. How to care for them, the different shapes, and how they occur and how they are created. This will hopefully clear up some things about the differences in pearls, whether or not they're natural or whether or not they are man-made, and kind of the inclusion and exclusion of them in jewelry making. Pearls, especially freshwater pearls, are one of those things that for centuries and centuries have been looked at as a prized possession. It's that illusion and that mystery that this came from the sea. And while there are still pearls and pearl divers that actually go down and dive deep to get pearls, by the 19th century, pretty much everything had been purged, and because of the popularity of pearls, most of what you see today is not coming from a naturally occurring oyster. Basically, everything from India to Greek to China to Rome has its own tales of how pearls were and how far back in history they were recorded. I mean, even Julius Caesar enacted some legislation back in Rome when he was there that only people of certain ranks could wear pearls in the actual city of Rome itself. And there's things back to Krishna in Hindu, that she was the god that founded pearls. It is that awesome thing, thinking about opening up an oyster and finding this naturally occurring gem. Again, because over the course of history, they have really become more and more popular. In the 19th century, most of the allure and the popularity really got big and boomed, and basically, there had to be another alternative and another way to find pearls. The average person could not afford to actually afford or wear or have or possess pearls. While they were becoming more of the fashion rage and more included in different cultures, Japanese industrialists, basically, and chemists tried to develop ways to actually have pearls that were not entirely man-made, but basically the oysters are helped along. One of the most famous, actually, that you may recognize the name of is going to be Mikimoto. That pearl industry is still there, and Mikimoto actually has some of the patents as early as 1896 on the process of actually taking an oyster and putting into the oyster a tiny bit of an oyster tissue that is inserted into an actual oyster, and then the pearls are grown or cultivated within the actual oyster. You want to think of this as basically an oyster farm. While it's still occurring naturally, and there's still all kinds of different things that can occur in nature to make good pearls or bad pearls, really what Mikimoto and his patents perfected was getting a nice rounder shape. Until then, you'd have a lot of blister type pearls where they're actually scraping along the sides and the tissue of the oysters. And now there's a whole different variety of oysters and different portions of the species that are used to actually make pearls. So while there still are pearls that are huge and prized and amazing that are actually done by deep sea divers, most of the world's pearls today are cultured or cultivated or freshwater pearls. Now, just doing a simple Google search, I'm going to show you guys for those pearls how basically these pearl farms work, because a lot of people don't realize when they are looking at pearls or adding them to their jewelry, if they're dyed, if they're bleached, or if they're blister pearls, that they didn't actually come from somebody randomly deep sea diving in the middle of the Indian Ocean or of the China Sea and finding these pearls. So I think I want to clear up some of the ideas about how pearls are made and manufactured now, being that there's a huge demand for them and I love them and use them in jewelry. So just looking here at a simple Google search for pearl farm cultivation photos, you can see in this second image how there are multiple pearls now that are created from one oyster. Again, it's different types and different species of oysters that are actually cultivating and having them in their in their farms. And then the picture further down, you can see, if you just again go into Google and kind of search for those images, you can see a diver that's actually gathering some of the pearls and from these oysters that are basically fed a little bit of their own tissue in order to act as an agent for the nectar to bond to and to create these pearls. There's still going to be a ton of variety that comes along with it, but it's not something that is now as much a natural occurrence. I mean, there's even pearl parties where people open up and see this, and you have the illusion that it's coming naturally from the ocean. And while it is still a naturally occurring event, they've been kind of helped along, which has made it much more affordable, that your $10 or $14 strand of freshwater pearls are not something that came from the middle of the ocean from a deep sea diver. So while this information may be new to some people, it's not new to everyone, but I wanted to make sure to clear that up. Now, the freshwater pearls, you do want to figure out if you are using freshwater pearls and you're using these beautiful, semi-naturally occurring gems, basically, that you want to care for them correctly. And I've done a number of different things on that, but wanted to say that make sure when you are using freshwater or you're using natural pearls, they are very, very porous. And you want to make sure to avoid using lots of perfumes or lots of makeup with them. And when you store them, think about the humidity, because they actually can be dehydrated. The best thing for your pearls is to actually wear them to hydrate them, get some of those body oils onto them while not having them lay on any sort of perfume or any sort of makeup. If you do need to clean your pearls, you want to just use a nice soft cloth. If you have to, just a little tiny bit of water will help to clean the pearls along the way. So what's the other option to kind of breaking down this pearl farm and this cultivating done mainly in Japan and China is the addition of the Czech Glass Pearl. And the Czech Glass Pearl is a glass bead, basically, that is coated. And I had the opportunity and the honor to go to one of these factories about 2 years ago and see actually how this very, very specific, based on humidity, based on temperature, how this occurs and how the process is actually made to make these nice Czech glass pearls. So when it comes to pearl alternatives, there is Czech Glass Pearls or glass pearls, which again are glass coated pearls. I have a series here again for my visit that I want to show you and display how this is done and how this is made. The beads, which are pressed glass beads, are actually strung on thread, and then those strung threads of beads are put on a tray, which is going to get it ready for that process. This is all done by hand, and you do get that perfect shape when you get ready for that dipping process. Once the dipping process is there, the pearls then go over, and it's about 18 to 25 times that they are dipped depending on the coating and the color that needs to go on that glass base. This is going to be a huge quality improvement over Chinese pearls. Plastic pearls are kind of done the same way, that they have that plastic base and then a coating over top, whereas the Czech are made a little bit more with care and really that layering process. It is amazing to watch that layering process. So as you can see, the bath has been prepared, which is actually going to be the color and the pigment of the coating on those pressed beads. The beads have been separated out along the strings, and the worker here is taking a nice, delicate manner to dip the pearls. That way there is complete consistency in it without any bumps or blisters or runs on the beads. This is something that obviously if I tried to do, I would totally screw up. So there is a method and a definitely learning curve to this as she goes through and individually coats each one of these trays, which, remember, again, were individually put onto those strings by additional workers that are there. Now you can see all different colors along the range, along the wall there, which is going to affect what color bath it is. Again, different humidities, different temperatures. You can even see all the colors behind our translator there, working with the different colors that can go into all of the different pearls and working to get them identical. So while there are, naturally occurring pearls, also the Czech pearls are going to give an amazing array of colors. That's something that you don't get in the freshwater pearls because they are natural, porous, and kind of soak up the dye. The color and the perfection of the Czech glass is quite amazing. And the process and the amount of time that it goes to take these is incredible as well. One of the benefits of going with a glass pearl versus an actual natural pearl is going to be that the color, when it is applied through that multiple dipping process, is going to be more steadfast, and it's not going to react to the perfumes and the makeup as much as the naturally occurring porous freshwater pearl. When you're looking at the glass pearls as well, you're going to get that absolute size, basically, that you're not going and finding a 2.5 millimeter when it's supposed to be a 2 millimeter round. So these can come in both rounds and rice shape and a number of different sizes, shapes, styles of those, because again, it's just that coated glass bead. When you're thinking of using them in bead weaving, that's what I would suggest, because the holes are also going to be bigger than natural freshwater pearls, checking out the Czech pearls when you're working on them. Again, another version of that glass coated pearl is going to be Swarovski. And while Swarovski is based in Europe, actually the pearl production is now done in India. So when you're getting Swarovski pearls, they are in fact also a coated glass, and they are done in India, versus the Czech pearls that are still done in the Czech Republic. On the tail end of things then, you have the Chinese plastic pearls. While these are great for costumes and for crafting, you want to keep in mind that they often have a really, really thin coating on the outside of the glass. Most of the times you pick up those plastic coated pearls, yes, they're going to be lightweight. You can easily with your finger kind of chip off the end of that coating, and you become kind of seeing that cloudy plastic that is underneath. Now, when to use glass pearls versus freshwater pearls versus if you have to plastic pearls, keep in mind that they're all a fun addition to the actual jewelry making experience. If you want natural or you want kind of that freshwater pearl, go for it. The price tag, because they are cultured now and because they are manufactured kind of on those pearl farms, is affordable for everyone to use. Czech Glass Pearls and kind of those perfection of round, they're a great addition for your bead weaving projects and to use if you really need a great color selection and a great kind of hold fast coating on the actual glass bead itself. And then when it comes to those Chinese pearls, again, good for crafting and children's crafts, and for sometimes people will use them in costume designs. Also think about that coating and that lacquer and that luster that we also have on cabochons. We have them on buttons, and we even have kind of what is called a luster coating on some of our glass beads as well. So is one pearl type better than the other? No. I would avoid using the Chinese plastic pearls for sure, just because you can usually see the coating on the string. It chips off and it doesn't have that nice quality. So if you're going to put the time and the effort into it, definitely check out the Czech pearls as well as those freshwater pearls. If you want the consistency and the size to have no variance whatsoever, check out the Czech Glass Pearls. And if you want that natural kind of allure of the sea, you can check out the cultured freshwater pearls as well. So have fun creating. Hopefully this was a little informative. I know I learned during this process, and hopefully I'll put together a longer video showing that Czech pearl process as well. As always, if you need any pearls, whether or not freshwater or Czech glass, you can shop with us online at Potomacbeads.com as well as Potomacbeads.eu. Thanks so much for watching this little informational Better Beader episode, and have fun beading, everyone.